$500 for this? $500 for an upgraded Nintendo Switch. What could possibly be the reason for the $200 upcharge? What could You son of a bitch, I'm sold. How's it going, guys? Peep is Smash Bros here, and the great new gen migration, it's finally happening for the Nintendo community. I still remember when I had a PS3 and the PS4 was finally announced. Unfortunately, I was very poor and could not afford a PS4. I'm not even joking, I did not get a new gen console until 2018. Yeah, just to give you a good idea with my financial status. But today we're talking about the Nintendo Switch 2, the newest generation console for Nintendo. While the Nintendo Switch 2 is not new information, it was actually publicly revealed a while back. Yesterday was the official Nintendo Direct, revealing everything that is changing, everything that's new about the Nintendo Switch, and Jesus Christ, I have never seen anyone's expectations shoot down so fast in my life. There's a lot of argument going on right now whether this might actually be one of the most underwhelming new generation consoles, like, ever. So let's talk about what happened with the Nintendo Switch 2 reveal yesterday, and why a lot of people might be resorting to just waiting for this to go on sale before picking it up. Now, before we do that, make sure you subscribe to the channel because we do have a tradition here. If we hit 173k subscribers by the end of this week, I'll eat the most liked comment. Literally comment whatever you want. I don't care. I will literally eat the most liked comment. So try to surprise me at 173k subscribers. Now, I'm not even gonna lie. I'm probably not even gonna pick this up until they announce a new Smash Bros. If I'm being fully honest here, this is probably the only series on Nintendo consoles that, like, I genuinely care about. Maybe Animal Crossing, won't lie, I dabble in Animal Crossing. But announce Smash 6 and I'm sold, bro. I am literally sold on the spot. But unfortunately, that's not what happened. First, I'm a bit of an optimist. Let's talk about the good stuff about this. Now, this is gonna be very out of the blue, and I'm just pulling this out of nowhere. But on past consoles like the Nintendo DS, Nintendo 3DS, there was this one feature where only one of you needed to own a game to play with friends. For example, if you had Mario Kart, you only needed one copy of Mario Kart, and then you could just send the data over to other DSs so you and all of your friends can play. It was genuinely a huge quality of life feature, and I'm happy to announce that they are bringing this back to the Switch 2. I don't know why they removed this for the Nintendo Switch, but they are bringing it back for the Switch 2, so I'm actually pretty hyped about that. I know this is like such a random feature, but I love this. The new Mario Kart looks so sick. They have a brand new gimmick. The last Mario Kart's gimmick was being Isaac Newton's worst nightmare, and physics is just, I don't even know how to explain the physics of Mario Kart 8. See, the new gimmick is that this game is open world. There's no out of bounds in this game. You can just go wherever you want. The world is your oyster with this game, and it's pretty sick. Nintendo Switch is making their own, like, Discord. I personally am not going to use this. If I'm being so honest with you, this could just be me. But realistically, I don't see anyone using this feature. Why not just add Discord integration to the Switch 2? I don't know. The Switch 2 also claims it's going to be able to run really demanding games like Cyberpunk, Final Fantasy VII Remake. Now, I'm not gonna lie, my expectations are a little low here. It is only a upgraded Switch, and the Switch is already a very low performance system, so I don't really know how you're going to run Cyberpunk on this. The biggest complaint about Cyberpunk is that it is an extremely demanding game. Spec-wise, like, you need really good specs on your PC just to run it. Meanwhile, the Nintendo Switch 1 can barely run Mortal Kombat on it. But that's me comparing it to the Switch 1, right? Maybe Switch 2 can run Cyberpunk. We'll see, alright? We'll see. I'm gonna stay optimistic here. I'm optimistic, but my expectations are low. Alright, that's all I'm trying to say here. Now, there are a lot of more pros about the Switch 2, especially how they're actually gonna start remastering Switch games to have way better graphics and all that. And if you're hyped for that, then, you know, so be it. Be hyped for that. But now let's talk about the main controversies about the Switch 2. And these controversies alone are enough to immediately turn everyone off from owning the Switch 2. Now, you've probably heard about this by now, but the Switch 2 is $500. $500 for this? $500 for an upgraded Nintendo Switch. What could possibly be the reason for the $200 upcharge? What could You son of a bitch, I'm sold. Now, me saying it's $500 is actually a bit of a stretch. The actual base price is $450, but if you include taxes with that, you're you're basically paying $500. The reason I said $500 is that you can actually get a bundle with the new Mario Kart for $500, which even then it's a big yikes. I feel like the Switches that were bundled with like Super Mario Odyssey were way cheaper than this. And I know what you're thinking. Oh, $450 console, $60 game. Technically, if you buy the bundle, you're saving $10, right? Who said anything about a $60 game? See, here's where the main controversy comes into play, and it is the release titles. Nintendo might have single-handedly made one of the worst influences in the game industry to this day, because select titles will be $80, including the new Mario Kart. But that's for the digital version. If you want a physical copy of this game, that's gonna cost you $90. I'm sorry, I cannot think of a single reason why Mario Kart is $90. Retail price, by the way, we're not talking about like a rare Mario Kart. Rare Mario Karts are out of the equation. Collectability, out of the equation. We're talking about recommended retail price of $90. My main issue is, like, how is this a $90 game? I cannot think of a genuinely good reason to why this is $90. Like my brain is actually frying trying to come up with a reason. The graphics are not even that impressive either. Like, this is just so like cartoony and simple. The amount of games I can think of from 10 years ago with 10 times better graphics than this that cost 50 to 60 USD. Like, genuinely, go to the comments. Give me a genuine reason to why this is $90. Now, this is where it starts to get way more confusing with how games are going to start to work on the Nintendo Switch 2. Because they're trying to reinvent the wheel here, but they're doing it in like the worst way possible. There's another controversy that's been spreading around with the Nintendo Switch 2 cartridge. Because typically when you think of a game disc, a game cartridge, etc., what do you think is on that said game cartridge or disc? You'd expect the game, right? At the bare minimum, you expect the game to be on it. Nope! Starting with the release of the Nintendo Switch 2, there is no more game data on the cartridge. Instead, the cartridge itself is going to be used basically as a key to allow you to play the game. Meaning you don't physically own the game. You're just being given access to the game. In the words of EA, we need to start getting comfortable with not owning games. Well, if I can't own it, then EA needs to get comfortable with me pirating it, because, hey, I can't own it, so who am I to get in trouble? Now, seriously, this actually has to be like one of the dumbest reworks for basically how buying a game works. This single-handedly has to be one of the most greediest things a game company has ever released, and Nintendo Switch has single-handedly placed themselves up there as some of the most greediest game companies of all time. Right next to EA, right next to Ubisoft. They're really standing their ground right now. I know this is such a random comment, but it's like, I kind of have to make this comment. I'm so happy that people are just slowly resorting to small game developers to actually play good games. I feel like something people slowly have to realize is that if we keep letting game companies get away with it, they're just gonna keep doing it. So if you just don't buy this overpriced slop of a console and just, I don't know, keep playing Repo, right? Garden Warfare 2. I know that's owned by EA, but look, that game is still holds up very well to this day. Keep playing Me-Side, keep playing Lethal Company. It doesn't even matter. I feel like it'll just slowly put these companies back into their place. So, what are you guys' thoughts on all of this? Thank you guys so much for watching. I'm gonna go now. So, yeah, see y'all.